Meanwhile, Dyad and Songo, who was with him, were almost at the cave leader. But suddenly they hear someone screaming coming from the cave. At first, he quickly runs at full speed, and when he gets there, he finds that everyone has been killed. Kim was badly injured, bleeding from everywhere. Right away, Joha gets upset and tells her, "Come quickly, what are you waiting for?" The girl actually uses her power and starts to heal him. Kim barely regains consciousness and tells her, "Save your energy, my daughter. I'm done for anyway. I don't have much time left, and I'm going to die. But it's good that I got to see you, Sonjo, before I go. There's something I want to tell you. I had agreed with the guy who was with me that as soon as I got out of the cave, I would bow my head to you and say I'm sorry. I know you'll never forgive me, but just let me say I'm sorry." He was very upset and said to him, "How are you going to die? Now I won't be able to hate you, come on." But unfortunately, he had reached his end and died right in front of their eyes, and everyone was very sad for him, not knowing who killed him. But suddenly, he quickly passes judgment on Joya. He was about to kill her, but someone grabbed his hand and said, "Oh, what are you doing?" He moved away from him and said, "I wanted to finish off the healer first, but it looks like you all wanted to die before her, so I'll give you what you want." At that moment, he realizes that it was Joa who killed them and says to him, "You step back, I'll face him." He said to him, "What can someone of your rank possibly do? You won't last a minute against me." He ignores his words and says, "Give me more energy." The girl gives him her energy. Indeed, the two of them start fighting. Kanji was very fast, but at first he managed to keep up with his speed. But only at first, my friend. Kanji kept getting faster and faster, injuring him everywhere. The man's body was destroyed and he could no longer move. Kanji was inside as well, telling him, "This is your end." He was about to kill him, but he used all his energy and burned everything in front of him. He was happy, thinking he had finally won. But Kanji laughs at his bravery, telling him, "You kept pretending to be a swordsman just to make me lower my guard and burn me." That's right, it was a nice and bold move, but it won't work on me. He flies at him, ready to finish him off. She closed her eyes, afraid of what would happen, but when she opened them, she saw that he had blocked the attack. He was still alive. Bobby was shocked for the second time and said to him, "Who are you, Leda? How were you able to block my attacks twice in a row?" He says, "I'm a 5th rank adventurer, and it looks like I'm going to have to kill you now." Kanji gets angry at him and says, "5th rank? You managed to block my attack twice, and not only that, you also have high physical strength and move quickly. That can only mean two things. Either you were hiding your power, or you had some kind of awakening." Everyone at that moment is shocked, and he himself can't believe his eyes. He then continues talking and says, "Looks like you guys have known each other for a while, which means you weren't hiding your power or anything. You must have had another awakening." When everyone hears this, they're shocked, and no one can believe their ears. He then says to him, "Friendship or not, it's not about awakening. I've had enough of you, and I'm going to kill you now." She gets angry at what he said and asks him, "Why did you kill them?" So he replied, "Because it was a request from the client. Those criminals raped his daughter, so I killed them for that reason." He told him, "I didn't mean the criminals. Why did you kill Kim and his group? It's clear that you tortured them before you killed them. If what you're saying is true and you killed the criminals for the client, then why didn't you silence them in another way? It seems like you enjoyed torturing them, and that's why you avoided all their vital organs and let them die from bleeding." At that moment, Kang was remembering what happened when the client came to him and told him about his request. Before the guy agreed or refused, he asked the client a question. He said, "Don't you think that someone as talented as me in the 2nd tier deserves to be in a top guild? Haven't you ever wondered why I'm stuck in this lousy organization and getting this measly salary?" The man was surprised and asked him, "Why?" Kang told him, "Because I enjoy killing humans, and there's no place that would let me do that except here." Now back to the present, Kang says to Sung, "Yes, I killed them because I like it, and I'll kill you too for the same reason. Come on, show me what you can do." They attack Sung recklessly, but the guy blocks all their attacks. Both of them really had extremely high energy and speed. They attack each other, and Sun and the others are watching, unable to believe what they're seeing. How did Sung become this strong? At that moment, both of them had equal speed. Their blows filled the place, but Kang says to Sung, "You're talented, but someone like you who hasn't gotten used to his power yet can't keep up with my experience." He attacks Sung and trips him, taking advantage of the fact that Sung can't see him and wounds him on the face. He then stands in front of him and says, "Get ready, because next time I'll kill you." His killing aura surrounded him, and the system recognized it, sending Sung a message saying, "If you don't kill the one in front of you, your heart will die and you'll be killed." But unlike last time, the guy wasn't shocked or anything. He was actually happy with the system gathering his strength around him. His terrifying aura appeared. His energy literally became frightening. He attacks Kang at incredible speed and manages to wound his face. The poison effect of the dagger also kicked in. Kang didn't understand what was happening. Sung kept attacking him from every direction. Kang was completely shocked, barely able to keep up with Sung's speed. The guy got close to him, about to land the finishing blow, and boom, Kang disappeared. Yep, he used his strongest skill. With the shadow move, he disappears at incredible speed and attacks Sung. Sung has no idea where the attacks are coming from. Sung tries to focus his senses to figure out where he is, but Kang was way too fast and wounded Sung in the leg, so now he can't move anymore. Then he says to Sung, "Do you know why no one knows about this skill? Because anyone who ever saw it never lived to see the next day. Get ready, because you're going to die in here. I honestly felt sorry for you." As for Song Kang's leg, he looked at her and said, "Stay where you are. If you move, I'll finish you off first. Don't rush to your death, just stay here." Meanwhile, Sung says to him, "How long are you going to keep eating?" You think you figured out my speed, right? Well, here you go. Suddenly, Sung uses full healing and heals his injured leg. Kang is, of course, in disbelief. How can a hunter and fighter have both poison magic and healing? He's really shocked by what's happening. Sung, on the other hand, stands up to him, and his terrifying aura fills the place. His eyes turn blue, and he says to Kang, "That's it. Your time is up with me. I'm going to kill you." The guy gets terrified and attacks him with his shadow move. "But that's it, buddy." Sung told him, "If I say I'm going to kill you, then I will." He blocks all his attacks easily. He pinpoints the location of his strike by sensing his killing intent. He tells him, "This is your end." And suddenly Sung uses his bloodlust skill. Kang is shocked. The whole place around him has changed. No, terrifying eyes are staring at him. Oh my god, Sung gets closer to him and boom, he kills him. The poison spreads through his whole body. And in his final moments, Kang says to Sung, "I don't understand anything. We measured your power when you came out of the double dungeon, and you didn't have any power at all. What is happening here?" Then Sung says to him, "What would you think if I told you my power increases after every fight?" Of course, Kang can't say anything. He's stunned by his strength, and then he dies. Yuson's group doesn't thank Sonya for saving them again. Then he says he's going to finish the cave boss and to wait outside. Then he leaves them and walks away. Of course, after that, Kang's power increased, and his eyes became terrifying. He finished off the monster in seconds, and then he went outside. The head of the monitoring division and Bob find out what happened and that Kang is dead. But he doesn't believe it and asks them, who killed him? Was it Sung? Sung thinks he's about to be exposed and that everyone will find out about his power, but Sung says, "I killed him with the help of Juhi, who's a second-class healer. She was able to provide me with energy and heal me. That's why I killed him." Of course, the head isn't really buying this story, but he doesn't say much to them. After that, he leaves, but he did notice that Sung had changed a lot since the last time he saw him, and he feels like there's something suspicious going on. Sung, for his part, also noticed the strength of this head and knows that even though, because of his strength now, it's hard for anyone to touch him. Anyway, after the head leaves, Sung thanks Sung for hiding his identity. Then, the agent who had hired Kang-ji to track down the criminals confesses to everything he did. With that, all the crimes Kang-ji committed came to light, and the case was finally closed. As for Juhi, after all of this, after what happened to her in the caves, she went to Sung and gave him this gem. She told him, "You gave it to me in the cave so I could buy myself dinner. But I've decided to retire from being a hunter, and I'm saying goodbye to you from today, Sung. But if you ever come to my city one day, come find me and I'll treat you to dinner." Of course, the boy understands all the circumstances she went through and the suffering she endured, and he tells her, "Take care of yourself." After that, she leaves him and walks away. But before she left, the detective spoke with Sung for a bit and warned him about Hwang. Yes, that's Donsk's brother who decided to come to town to investigate the case of his brother's death. And he intends to take out everyone who was with him, namely Sung and Jin. Of course, at this point, he realizes how dangerous the situation he's in is, and he says, "Now I have another reason to make my resolve even stronger." After that, the day ends, and the next day, Sung and his team start clearing out the third-ranked dungeons. Everything is going smoothly. They brought along 6 freeloaders who are completely useless. They just sit around guarding the gate until Sung and Jin finish clearing it. Then they head to another gate, Sung and his team. He kept fighting monsters, leveling up, and his power kept increasing more and more. Another dungeon, and as time passed, he would take down the boss and clear the dungeon, baring his teeth with determination. His power kept growing more and more. Finally, Sung reached the container with his own eyes. At that moment, he received a notification from the system with a message saying, "Finally, you have reached the required container. Now you can choose a job for yourself, Sung." Of course, he doesn't understand any of this, but he knows it's very important, so he keeps practicing it. At another time, in those very teeth, it happened again. At the White Tiger Guild, the President An was sitting and going through some papers about the adventurers and the situation. He discovers something amazing. He finds out that all the third-ranked dungeons are reserved by Eugene's company, and the price paid for each dungeon is $150 million. Who is the one paying all this money? They're paying all that money for a dungeon of the third rank. The manager sits looking at the members of this team and notices the name Sung among them. The name catches his attention. He says, "What's this?" He pulls out the reports of recent incidents, and again Sung's name appears there. He says, "How is this kid? It's impossible for him to have survived all of that. All these incidents, unless something happened to him. Yes, it must be an awakening." That's why the manager takes his assistant and tells him, "Come with me quickly." Meanwhile, this session was heading into a cave. And of course, his team was just sitting there having a picnic. Whoever brought food was eating, and whoever brought juice was drinking. It stopped being a cave. It turned into a trip. The important thing is, at that moment, he arrives at the place and sees everything. Wow, what's all this beauty? Then the girl comes up to him and says, "No one is allowed to stand here until the cave is closed, of course." He asks her, "Are you one of the hunters here?" The girl replied, "Yes." So he was sure. What he was thinking must be right. He was hit with a new shock, and not just any shock. No, he takes down 3rd rank dungeons all by himself. He looks like he's going to come out with some big news. After that, he goes out and confirms all his suspicions because he was hiding in a corner. After the daily dungeons ended, the guy tells Gino that he has something important to do tomorrow and asks him to postpone tomorrow's dungeons for him. Gino, of course, had already paid in advance, but he says, "Alright man, whatever you want. If we can cancel the reservation, we'll cancel it for you. Do we have another one or what?" Anyway, then, while he's on his way home, he runs into the manager and the manager invites him to dinner. "Yeah man, do you see me like this or like that? Or what?" "No, that's not what I meant, honestly, but I want you for a respectable job." They actually go to that restaurant and he sits in front of him. "So, what do you want?" The manager gets straight to the point and says, "I'm the CEO of the White Tiger Guild. Our guild is looking for talented members. And without beating around the bush, I see that you're talented and I want you to join our guild. Whatever offer they've given you, I'll give you double." And he was really happy as he spoke, thinking his price was cheap or something. But he told him 60 billion is the amount that would be double what they paid. He gets up and pretends to be shocked after hearing this amount. He tells him, "But I can't afford that price. Even if I sold our entire union, it wouldn't reach 50 billion. Bolt. So, our discussion is over and done with. Okay." But while he was standing next to him, he said, "How did you know? Don't tell me you've been snooping around behind my back or I don't know." He got terrified, feeling the aura of killing around him. He also used his stealth skill and scratched his face. He told him, "Turn your face away." He said, "Tell me, how did you know?" The manager told him everything and said it was because of my research and deductions. After all the incidents that happened recently, there was only one person involved in all of them, and that was you, Sanji. And of course, after I connected all the dots, I concluded that you had another awakening. He asked him, "Does anyone else know about this besides you, or what?" The manager told him, "No one else except my assistant, and I promise you I'll keep him quiet." He replied, "Alright then, that's fine, but if anyone else finds out about me, I'll know you two are behind it." I was really terrified, but he told him, "Don't worry, your secret will be safe with me." After that, he said, "Alright, it's settled," and sat down in front of him. He apologized for the way he asked, but the matter wasn't that important to him. After that, the manager asked if there were any empty gates tomorrow because they're not leaving any cave unused. He gave him all the caves available for tomorrow at double the price and told him, "Now everything you want is sorted." After that, he left him and walked away. He calls Jin and tells him that all the caves for tomorrow have been sold for $600 million. Enjoy it, Zeno. The guy is, of course, shocked and asks, "Who's the fool who bought them from you? Introduce us." He replies, "That's a trade secret." Alright, goodbye. And then the day ends. In the morning, the manager discovers that no one actually bought any caves today at all, and he got completely duped. He sends him a message on his phone at that moment and says, "That's it, we're done, boss. You investigated me without my permission, and I took my due. Goodbye." At that moment, the manager realized he had suffered a complete loss this time, but he was very happy because he got Songo's number. He plans to try to convince him to join the union at another time. His assistant then asked him, "So, was what you had in mind correct or not?" The boss replied, "It wasn't correct, but it looks like we've stumbled upon some really big news." And after that, the day comes to an end. He was heading to a place far away from the city to investigate the new mission in his system and figure out what was going on. He actually arrives at an abandoned forest and activates his mission. At that moment, a terrifying energy appears before him, opening up a strange portal. As he's going in, he remembers that he still hasn't done his daily missions, but he says, "No problem, I'll do them when I get back, God willing." Then he heads into the portal to explore it. He actually goes inside and finds a corridor ahead of him, lit by fire. It feels like the entrance to a palace or something. The instructions for the place appear in his system, letting him know that he's not allowed to use any healing items and that he has to complete this mission from start to finish without any external assistance. Of course, he didn't understand anything, but he thought, never mind, and kept exploring the place. Suddenly, a knight in iron armor appears and attacks him right away. He draws his weapon and tries to attack him quickly and strike him down. But nothing happened to the knight, and his attacks had no effect on him at all. He gathers his strength again and hits him with all his power. Still, there was no result. At that point, the guy says, "Alright, come here then." He puts away his weapon, circles around behind the knight, and grabs him by the head. Boom! He crushes him with his muscles. "We're tough, Dad." More knights show up suddenly and attack him. But as long as one of them died, all the ones after him were easy to take down. Sanj took out all the knights, and no one could stand in his way. But then other monsters join the fight, and even Sarah joins in too. The guy basically becomes a punching bag. Anyone who runs into him just smacks him around. He gathers all the skills he's picked up from battles, and with great effort, he manages to finish off those monsters and kill them. He benefits from them by gaining lots of weapons and skills, the most important of which is the invisible shield. A solid and strong defense that will protect him from harm in the future. He also gets some potions that fully restore his energy, so everything is going perfectly. After that, then the boy keeps going in that place until he reaches a huge gate. Yes, this is the real test. Sung immediately opens the door and the terrifying aura hits him in the face, scaring him. He tries to encourage himself, of course, and goes in anyway. After that, the door closes behind him. Is what happened before going to happen again, or what? Sung, of course, goes in and finds a very spacious place that looks extremely clean, and you get the feeling it's the throne room of the ruler of this place. Standing beneath the king's throne is a person in legendary red armor named the Knight Commander Igris. His aura is extremely powerful, and you can sense he's a terrifying monster. Naturally, after Sung saw him, fear struck his heart, and he realized this was no ordinary opponent. This is a monster with the same strength as the ones in the double dungeon, so he has to be careful. Igris immediately draws his sword and points it at Sung. And in an instant, the monster charges at him. Boom! With a single strike, he shatters everything around him. What kind of overwhelming power is this? Sung still hadn't recovered from the first attack, and the second blow sent him flying. He couldn't even react. Igris was right behind him, showing no mercy with unnatural speed, strength, and skill. Sung couldn't keep up, couldn't block, and couldn't do anything at all. He gathers his courage and attacks with all his ferocity. But Igris was in complete control, even letting him try to stab him. But of course, none of the strikes had any effect. Then Igris gathers his strength into his sword. Boom! He lands a blow that shakes the entire place. The guy is fighting with everything he's got, but still can't do anything. He says, "If the dagger isn't working for you, then I'll beat you with my bare hands." He puts the dagger back in his storage and tells him, "Get ready because I'm going to break you." The knight is impressed by his courage, throws away his own weapons too, and says, "Give it your all, come on." Boom! Suddenly, Igris was right in front of Sung and wham! Lands a solid punch on his head. He threw him into the wall, and Aramis flew off. May he rest in peace. Punch after punch after punch, Sung is literally getting beaten up. With the final punch, bam! The wall breaks. The guy escapes just in time, but even his hand got hurt, and the spoiled kid from before is long gone, dead. His health points also dropped by 500, and he says, "If my strength isn't working on you, Igris, so let me show you what I can do with my speed." Suddenly, he gathers all his power in his legs and boom! Rockets straight at him. So that's Igris. First time, he slammed him into the wall. Second time, the punch shook the whole place. Yeah, with the leg again, and I won't show you any mercy. Sung keeps attacking fiercely, gathering all his strength in one hand and hitting Igris on the head. He thought he had finally won, but this time the monster snaps out of it and completely breaks him. Blow after blow, and Sung is literally getting pummeled. Now Igris is the one in control of the fight. He turned him into a pulp in his hands and threw him toward that chair where he collapsed. He can't move. His energy is almost depleted. He's barely able to catch his breath. Igris, still at full strength, approaches him. He summons his sword to finish him off once and for all. He gathers all his strength and strikes him, and suddenly he grabs his sword. Yes, I still haven't given up. He screams at the top of his lungs, throws his sword up, and stabs him in the eye with his dagger. He pushes him against the wall with all his strength, not giving him any chance, grabs the dagger again, and boom, right in his neck. Igris was just about to finish him off. But this guy, my friend, keeps attacking him with all his ferocity. He's not giving him a chance to catch his breath. The guy is letting out all his pent-up anger on him, and he's literally copying him. Igris can't move anymore. Sung Jinwoo was also preparing for the final blow. And boom, what a sweet move. Yes, finally he won the fight. Sure, he won by luck, but a win is a win, my friend, and Sung did what he had to do. The benefits from these fights start to show, and of course, his level increases and he gets a ton of items, including the legendary Aegis helmet with a rank of 0. This helmet reduces any physical damage by 20%. He also acquires a skill called Hand of the Ruler, in addition to a stone that allows him to return to the outside world. Of course, I won't know what these skills are right now, and he won't leave either until he's completely exhausted. That's why he says, let's explore them another time, and he tries to look for the job that the system has assigned him. Suddenly, a strange sound appears behind him. Portals start opening everywhere. He's now surrounded. A counter appears above, suggesting his job strength depends on how long he survives. And the more he kills and the longer he stays alive, the more awesome his job will end up being. Of course, the guy immediately starts attacking those monsters to kill them, but his energy was really low. There were so many monsters and their numbers just never ended. He tries to use his stealth skill to waste some time and escape. But still, the monsters in the desert find his location. And now there's no escape for you, man. Then a knight appears behind him and hits him in the back. Song gets mad at him and kicks him. He's only been flying with the chicken for 5 minutes so far, and the monsters have multiplied, surrounding him from every direction. And if he doesn't escape now, that's it. He's going to die. Then he pulls out the Stone of the End, which he hasn't used yet and is about to use. But another monster attacks him and knocks it away from him. Man, what bad luck. Every time he tries to use the Stone of the End, he gets hit. You really are unlucky, seriously, I swear to God. Even the knights attacked him too, and it looks like this is the end for him. And of course, after the knights gathered and attacked Sung with all their ferocity, the guy realizes the situation he's in and says, if I don't kill all of them right now, I'm not getting out of here alive. He went down on them, showing no mercy, one knight after another. And honestly, Sung isn't joking around. But unfortunately, there are just so many knights, it's like they never end. The guy is struggling and fighting them off, but he's getting hit too. His hand is getting torn up, his skin is coming off, and he's still pushing his body to keep going. At this point, he can't take it anymore. His vision has become completely blurry. And still, Sung is holding it together, even though he's starting to hallucinate around him. Everyone was telling him to give up, but he still didn't lose hope and kept fighting with all his strength. Then, a version of his old self appears to him and starts talking, saying, "How's it going, Sung? Even though your power has increased and your appearance has changed, you still end up in situations where you face death. Like the saying goes, no matter how much you change or get stronger, you'll always be weak, the one who can't do anything. The weakest hunter in the world, so just give up. Go on, meet your death and say goodbye to life." Of course, Sung hears all this, but he refuses to give in. He fights all the knights and attacks them fiercely. But a knight appears behind him while he's not paying attention and hits him on the head. Then another knight attacks him, and that's it. The guy felt like this was his end. He said, "Looks like this is the end." He thought, "That's it, I'm dead." But do you really think this is his end, my friend? No, not at all. Suddenly, a message from the system appears to him. Since Sung didn't complete his task today, he's going to be sent to the punishment area. At that moment, the knight was just about to kill him, but suddenly the guy was teleported. What a nice punishment. Truly, as the saying goes, luck is also a kind of strength. And because Sung didn't do the task the previous day, he was transported to the punishment area. Here, he'll learn how to use potions, kill these monsters, and keep increasing his power even more. Indeed, the boy drinks some glass like that, and his pain goes away instantly. He feels better, and then the monsters that were chasing him before appear to him. But that's the old Sung. He's gone. The new Sung has incredible power, my friend. He's killing those monsters one after another in seconds, and finally, his level starts to increase. As Sung's level goes up, his wounds heal and his skills improve. Everything is completely calm now, nothing left. There's only less than 10 minutes left in the punishment time. And literally, Sung is in his best condition ever. After that, he buys a weapon from his inventory called the Night Slayer. And this weapon is extremely powerful. It will let him take out the knights over there. Then he wraps his arm and uses the stone he got from Igris. Yes, it's called the Ruler's Stone. And this stone gives him the power to control anything around him, but on the condition that the object isn't too big. After that, time runs out and Sung returns to the place where the knights are at the same time. Meanwhile, the head of the hunters group had sent an elite team of adventurers to Jeju Island. He and his assistant knew how dangerous that island was and were waiting for news about it as soon as possible. And indeed, at that time, the hunters were on the plane and were almost at the island. But suddenly, their plane spots a strange creature. The camera can't identify what it is. At the same time, after Sung returned to where the knights were, he started attacking them from every direction. His new weapon was also powerful and extremely effective against those knights, helping him a lot. But no matter how many knights Sung kills, their numbers don't decrease, and his level stays the same. At that moment, the guy realizes that someone is behind these knights and he has to kill him first to calm things down. He really focuses his senses and discovers that this mage looks strange and there's a summoning gate next to him. He immediately flies off the knights and lands a blow with his sword that finishes him off. After that, a large number of the knights are defeated and Sung gets a notification that the first monster has been defeated. Then he understands everything and pinpoints the location of all the remaining mages. He rushes at everyone and shows no mercy to anyone he encounters left or right. Everyone gets beaten up. The new skills are dominating and the guy is literally doing something amazing. After that, he wipes out a mountain of knights and monsters. And he also finishes off the mages. The last 3 monsters realize they're the only ones left, so they decide they have to team up against him to kill him. They actually create a giant knight to attack him, and it charges at Sung with full ferocity. But do you really think that kind of brutality would faze him, my friend? Not at all. Suddenly he grabs whatever's hanging above, like a chandelier, and smashes it down on its head. Then he flies off toward the desert, acting completely clueless. Anyone who stands in his way gets obliterated. He arrives at the place called Desert 3, and boom, greetings to you all. Sung wiped out everyone in front of him. But the knight was still alive. He attacks Sung again, not missing a single chance to strike him. But do you really think Sung would just let him go on in front of him, my friend? No way, the guy gathers all his strength again and finishes him off. Yes, that's it. Finally, Sung won and completed his mission in 4.5 hours. That's the total time. The rewards from the system were pouring in like crazy. After that, the system finally sends him a message about his job. Yeah, this is what Sung was fighting and almost dying for, so it has to be something awesome. His job appears and boom, Sung is shocked. The job is necromancer. What kind of nonsense is this? Sung can't believe it. He says, my abilities are physical and I haven't developed my intelligence. There's no way I'll have enough magic for this job. I refuse it immediately. He actually said no. The system told him, even though this job is considered a secret treasure, you're still going to refuse it. At this point, Hada said, what do you mean by a secret treasure? Is there something about this job that I don't know? He walked around the whole place, thinking about what he was going to do. After that, he saw the corpse of a magician lying on the ground. He remembered all his abilities. Yes, he had a really powerful magical ability, but his defensive abilities were non-existent. If I accept this job, will I have his magical energy? Anyway, my defense is strong and my energy keeps increasing. Let's accept the mission and see what happens. And indeed, he chooses to accept the job. After that, a huge black energy gathers around him, filling the entire place. The guy was standing there, not understanding anything, but he notices his energy literally increasing. The fusion finally ends, and now he has become a necromancer. But because he killed all the enemies in the place. Here, the job gets promoted once again and he becomes the Shadow King. Yeah, it looks like he's going to shake things up. After that, Sung starts counting the souls of the knights around him in the place and he notices a notification on their discs that says, Shadow Extraction Possible. The guy says, no problem, let's try. And he tries to summon them. He actually picks a random word and says, rise. And boom, the word gets written into the system, and all the knights present stand before him. Yeah, the Shadow Army started from today, and he was literally shocked and super happy with his new power. This ability was divided into 2 parts. One part extracts the shadow of the dead, and the second part hides them in Sung's shadow. These monsters' power increases based on the strength of their master, so every time Sung levels up, the monster's power increases and they become stronger. But does that mean Sung can summon anyone? Well, let's try it out while we're at it. He actually went up to him and saw a notification saying he could summon him, but Sung's summoning energy wasn't enough to allow it. That's why he needs to withdraw some of his soldiers and take their energy. He did just that and started summoning Igris to serve him. The monster's energy filled the place, but Sung's attempt ended in failure. He tried to revive him one more time, but it was still no use. Now there's only one attempt left, and if he can't summon him, it'll be impossible to extract his shadow again. The guy knew this, and that's why he said to Igris, "How long are you going to keep guarding this empty throne? A knight like you must raise his sword to protect his king. How long will your sword remain sheathed for someone who ignored you and came back here? Come with me, I need your sword." Suddenly, Igris's energy bursts forth, flooding the entire place. Yes, Sung smiles, knowing he has succeeded. Finally, he has gained control over Igris, and those who are ranked as first-class knights or just a bit higher. The knight also goes to Sung and kneels before him. This means that from today, you have become his king. And literally, things are about to start with Jin. All the other knights also knelt behind Igris. Looks like we'll see that in the next season. Awesome, my friend. But of course, this is where the first season ends. And as soon as the second season is released, I'll upload it, God willing. So don't forget to send blessings upon the prophet and subscribe to the channel. Alright, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.